An interesting event. Now, there is some Mepharshim say this is Mizmor of Galut, some Mizmor this is made of Beit Sheni to remember what we had and how what we got back. Right? When you remember your sadness and now what you have makes you even happier. Nevertheless. Now we have a Psukim Hey Vav, a triple swear. Im eshkachech Yerushalayim tishkach yemini. Tibak lashoni lehaki im lo ezkerechi. Im lo et Yerushalayim al lo simchati. So what does this mean? If you eshkachech Yerushalayim, forget Yerushalayim, tishkach yemini. What does that mean?
Just like my right hand won't be forgotten, I can't forget Yerushalayim.
Why right hand?
Because it's something you use all the time.
Tishkach yemini. What?
Or the keynote.
That's what it was. Keynote. Right. So therefore, I no longer tishkach yemini, meaning I forget where I was at. That I didn't want to play. I shouldn't be able to play. Come to a situation where I get this idea. I should not. You could take tishkach yemini, it's when, like you said, my right hand literally should be forget. Or some explains my right hand should be cut off. I think it means the same thing. It's just a metaphor that I won't be able to play. But the idea of lack of shirai, and that's why, of course, this very strange curse. Tibak lishoni lehiki. My tongue should be stuck to its palate. Im lo ezkerech.
Shir, the rest of the same shir.
Right. I can't sing. In other words, if I refuse, if I forget, and I actually decide that I can be shot, I should be unable to. I should not be. Thank you. I shouldn't be able to sing if I decide that I want to. Meaning, im lo ezkerechi, and then of course the tonight without a onish. Im lo and then Yerushalayim al lo simchati. Right? If I don't remember, so now pay attention to this development of the three levels of shua. They increase in extremity. Im eshkachech, if I forget. Im lo ezkerechi, if I don't proactively remember. And then even more, im lo et Yerushalayim al lo simchati. Now, I think that hand vav that's its own unit. And then you go to the last piece, which has two mini units in it, the cursing of the nations, right? And probably one of the harshest psukim, really, that we can imagine of Nekama. Although, and whether we like it or not, there's no shortage of longing for Nekama against our flesh. That's just a motif. I'll bring to you many Mekorot as we move forward, but there are plenty. Zechor Adonai Bnei Edom. Now we remember Edom. So Radak says, what is Edom doing here? So Radak says it's an Ewa for Beit Sheni. Howzvek Kavod of Edom? We don't really have to say that. Because the Nevi'im are replete with accusations of Edom. The Nevi'im are replete with accusations of Edom of being complicit with Babel. And why? Why was Edom complicit with Babel? Why? Yehezkel Lamed He Pasuk Zayin says that they, what did they want to do? They wanted to Yoresh. They wanted to take the two cities. They felt that if Babel destroys Yerushalayim, what will happen? They'll be able to take it. They'll be able to Yoresh. So Edom doesn't have to be able to do this by Sheni. It could be actually, they were clearly complicit, they were reminded, the Nevi'im are remembering. So we single out it. Now why single out Edom? We single out Edom, at least according to many of fashion, because that's what was the nation. There are brothers. They should have been better. זכרון אדום את יום ירושלים האומרים ערו עד ליסוד בערו. Hayum says uncover. To uncover, when you destroy, you uncover something, its nakedness, you uncover. So, Adu Adu Adi Yisod Ba, And then we go to the most powerful. Bat Bavel HaShedudah, Ashrei Shishalem Lach Et Gemulach Shegamata. Fortunate is the one who does what you did to us. Ashrei Shiochad, behold, when you pass it on a lion, take your young suckling infants, and smash their heads on the rock. Right? And the Gemara gets very graphic about this. The Gemara says that there was measurements of rain on the rocks of so the idea here of this graphic desire, this bloodthirsty almost desire for revenge, right? And that comes. So, and we'll talk about that at the end, right? So, let's go back. The immediate response, right? Right? Sham al narot Babel, Sham yashavnu in Babel. An immediate response is to be what? To be toleh kinoah. Does anyone tell them to do that? No. Do they have to swear they're going to do that? No. This is automatic. This is an organic response to their situation. The pain of galut is fresh in their mind. They are saying, Talinu kinorotenu. Automatic. We continue with Sham. Ki Sham she'enunu shovenu d'bereshit. Right? There are two ways to explain this. Either it's like the key. There's an explanation of why we were told Yaakov. It's part of the immediate situation. They asked us, Shiru lanu mishir Sion, we said so in other words, Ki Sham, the Sham is the same place, and talking about Babel, and therefore, if that's the case, it's almost the request is almost a taunt. It's almost a taunt. Shiru lanu mishir Sion. If, however, we explain it as a little bit later, just a little bit later, then it might be a legitimate request and a legitimate answer. Okay? But either way, it can work. So there's a strong connection between Aleph and Bet and Gimel and Dalet, right? The theme is we can't sing. The Sham connects it. And as I mentioned before, it starts with Al Naharot Babel. It ends with Admat Nechad. I mentioned Tolenu, Talinu, Shovenu, Yashavnu. I would say that Aleph to Dalet is this compact unit, maybe two mini units, right, but this compact unit that seems to be enclosed with a statement of happiness is impossible. Galut has brought a new reality. We cannot be happy here. This is not something we are legislating, mandating, forcing upon ourselves. This is naturally impossible. The existence of Galut is impossible. We can no longer sing. We can no longer play. We can no longer have joy. It's over. That's the message here. Right? Al Naharot Babel al Admat Nechad. Now we move into what I'll call the second group. The second group, like I said, three swears. Im eshkachech Yerushalayim, tishkach yemini. Right? Swear, onesh. Titbach, here now, onesh, swear. Titbach leshoni l'haiki, im lo ezkireh. And im lo aled Yerushalayim simchati. So that could also be part, especially based on the pasuk, Titbach leshoni l'haiki, if I don't do these two things. So it's like, could be two swears with two, punishment with two potential things, three separate swears. Let's see, either way, it works. Now, there's a switch. Let's look at the linguistic switch that's happening right now. We have a linguistic switch from what I call the first part to the second part. One, we switch from plural to yahid. You didn't notice, right? Sham yashavnu, bachinu, zochrenu, talinu, kinorotenu, tolalenu, right? Shovenu, ours, shiru lanu mishir Sion, ich nashir et shir Hashem, and then we move into im eshkach Yerushalayim, tishkach yemini, titbach leshoni lehiki, im lo ezkerechi, im lo ale et Yerushalayim, al simchati. So it's a clear movement from Rabbi to Yahid, right? It's from the collective to the personal. That's one. Also, Sion turns to Yerushalayim. And the verbs are moving from past tense to future tense. Okay? So we see there's no question that there is a point here where we're moving there's a progression here. Now, what question sticks out right away in your mind? Right? When you read Psukim handed out. What are you thinking when you read these Psukim? Why is it here? Good, and develop it a little bit further. Okay, let's imagine, right? Let's say, God forbid, a person is a survivor of Auschwitz. And he walks out of Auschwitz, and he's depressed, and he's crying, and he's sad. And he says, I swear I'll never forget this. Are you crazy? You swear. It's obvious. You just say you can't. There is the statement of an impossibility. Why now make these swears altogether? Why is it necessary? Right? Okay. Now, we'll get back to that. Now we go to Pasuk Zayin, which is again, remembering, asking God to remember Bnei Edom et Yom Yerushalayim Anu Ara Yisod. Now, I mentioned it before, but look, those who have a Tanakh, if you open, for example, I told you SCA Lamed Hey. Start reading SCA Lamed Hey. Read. Tell anyone want to read it out loud? Tell pretty much the Pasuk Yod. Yeah.
וידבר אדוני אל לאמור בן אדם שים פניך על הר שעיר ותנבא עליו ואמרת לו כה אמר אדוני אלוהים הנני ידיך על שעיר ונתתי ידי עליך ונתתיך שממה
Shmama, I'm going to make you desolate. Continue.
עליך חורבה אשים ואתה שממה
Your cities, Hurba, we're going to doom, destruction. Continue.
וידעת כי אני אדוני יען היודך בת עולם ותגד את בני ישראל על ידי חרב.
Why? Because you destroyed, you abused Israel. Flip the head. That's okay.
ואת אדם ואת עוון קץ. לכן חייאני לעומת אדוני אלוהים, כי לדם אעזך ודם ירדופך. אם לא דם שנאת ודם ירדופך. נתתי את הר שעיר לשממה ושממה, לכרתי ממנו עובר ושב. ומלאתי את הרב חלליו, בגאותיך וגאותיך וכל עפיפיך חרב יפלו בהם. שמות עולם יתנך ועליך לא תשובנה, וידעתם כי אני אדוני.
So in other words, you did bad to us, you're going to get destroyed. Echa, right? Someone else. Everyone has Megillat Echa. Perek Dal Pasuk Kaf Aleph. Anyone, first one to get a reading. Go ahead.
Anybody want to count?
The last two in that. Sisi b'simchei, go ahead. Sisi b'simchei bat Edom yoshevet b'uz gam alayich tavor koz tishkeri v'titari tam avonech lo yifim pakad avonech bat Edom hilal hatutai. The cursing of Edom. It's a motif, right? The whole book of Obadiah curses Edom. Right? Everything we want blood. Literally, Ezekiel says. We want to see our enemies dead. That's a motif. Comfortable or not comfortable with it, it is a motif throughout the Nevi'im. Yirmiyah, Mem, Vav, all the way to Nun Aleph, doesn't stop. Right? He doesn't stop. Right? And Edom always has a place there. So, we're going to try and figure this out a little bit, but then it really gets...
Rabbi, even later generations, like even if it's not the original oppressor, is that
Like what do you mean?
like are we Edom, who was involved in the destruction alongside Babel, we're cursing their lineage as well? We want to see their
Right, see, that's a good question. Is the thirst for, right, fifth generation Edomites to get destroyed? I have no evidence for that. In other words, Bat Bavel Hashduda doesn't necessarily mean the descendants. It could mean this Bavel, we want Hashdesh Umat Bush Gamatlan. Well, Yudah does have this. Is it a collective punishment in terms of vertically in generations or not? It's certainly a collective punishment horizontally. I'm not only saying that the actual guy who smashed my baby should his baby be fed. I'm talking collective punishment for the nation. You're asking me vertically, is it also for the generations? I don't know. By the way, just to point out, we're not saying we're going to do this. We're not saying we can't wait till we get a chance to smash your babies on the rock. Right? We're saying we can't wait to see. Right? There's a little bit of a difference. There's a subtle difference. But we'll get back to that. Some Mifashim were bothered by this pasuk, and I'll get to that. But what's interesting is, if you look at it, no medieval Mifashim seem to be bothered by this pasuk. Now, pre-modern Mifashim are all bothered by this pasuk. Right? 19th century. Very few modern Mifashim, even modern scholars, are bothered by this pasuk. Interesting. In other words, I'll say it this way. Anyone who lived in medieval times couldn't care less. People who lived in 19th century, early 20th century, cared a lot. Post-Holocaust, nobody cared. They understand. Not that they are crueler, but they understand the impetus and the desire of emotion, of revenge, whatever it might be, for us to mean. And like I said, that's a separate discussion. Okay. By Het and Tet, we are fully transported back in time. In other words, we've gone, in the beginning, we're at like a point where we're remembering. We're in the middle, we're sort of promising we will continue to remember. And in Zayin Het Tet, we're transported back in time, hoping for a revenge against something that we're feeling at this very moment. Okay. Now, what is this Mizmor as a unit? What is it coming to do? And again, the ultimate question is how this middle piece ties into all the others. So first of all, let's look at the first four psukim and the next two. Are they connected? So, I think they are connected. The idea of Bechi and Simcha looking at each other, especially Simcha, contrasted, Sion, Yerushalayim, repeated, but more important, and I think this is the most important. I call this Mizmor the Mizmor of memory. And that permeates, right? This Mizmor is all about memory. Zochrenu et Sion. Right? Im eshkachech Yerushalayim, tishkach yemini, im lo ezkirechi. Right? Im lo aleh Yerushalayim, zechor Adonai lebnei Edom. Right? This idea of memory, right? This idea of we remember Zion, im eshkachech, tishkach yemini, lo ezkirechi, and then eventually the request from Hashem to be to do the same and to be zocher. Right? The idea of memory seems to permeate this Mizmor. And we're going to have to talk a lot about that because this is very, very important. And the idea of memory comes as its crescendo, it's in the middle. If I forget you, tishkach yemini. In other words, and the way we're explaining it is, if I'm able to play songs in Babel, I see that as some treacherous abandonment of Yerushalayim. Right? This idea that I can't forget. Right? And really, I would say like this. What seems to be happening here is we seem to have a normal process of normalization in Galut. The beginning is our first construct with Galut. How can we live here? What are we doing here? This is, we can't sing. It's automatic. Nobody has to give me a musser schmooze, don't sing here. I don't need it because it's an organic process. And then, what happens is, we seem to be developing. And we start having simahot. Because in fact, we have simahot. We're now having Havigate, we're celebrating something, and we're just promising God that while we celebrate, we're going to be Oleh Yerushalayim. But Sukim Aleph to David, there's no thought of celebration. It's an unheard of, we can't even imagine we'll celebrate anything. Right? Right? The graphic Hazal is that they bit their thumbs off. Right? This is impossibility. Right? Forget it. And yet, in Gimel and Daled, in Hey and Vav, we're starting to have to promise we won't forget. We're starting to have to make swears that Hashem we won't forget. And when we have Simha, which seems to be that we're forgetting, where there's a process of normalization of our interaction with the country that we're in. And that poses a danger. Because if we have normalization, what can happen? We will forget. If we forget, we're lost. By the way, we know, even before this happens, we know from the letter of Yirmiyah, I'm going to read it, I'm going to talk about it, I have time, towards the end, in Kafteh, right? He writes a letter. And what does that letter say? The letter addresses different groups of people. And yeah, SCA does this. There's the camp that's literally not unpacking their goods yet. Waiting to go back up in Labaton. There's a camp that's saying, no. We want to live here for good. God has forgotten us. We're done. There are different camps. We spoke about it last year. Yirmiyah saying, you're going to normalize. The Mizmor is understanding that there's a normalization. But the antidote to that is the memory. Right? So again, Aleph Daled, immediate. Galut's immediate. Hevav, there's this normalization, there is now Simha, there is something that happens, and the antidote is memory. Right? There's a problem of forgetting, so the antidote is memory.
Rabbi?
Yeah.
How do you explain this switch in tense?
Okay, so I'm going to get back to that. Remind me, if I don't address it, I plan to address it. The switch in tense from past to future and from Yahid to Rabbi. Okay? So, what becomes obvious and spontaneous is now externally encouraged through a swear. Right? What becomes no Simha, now we have Simha. There is Simha. Okay? And what is B'Zochrenu et Zion automatically now is Imlo, is Kerechi. Right? So this idea of the memory as the antidote to the danger of normalization seems to be the transition from Aleph to Daled to He to Vav. Now we have to move to Zayin to Tet. Right? He Vav to Zayin Tet, which is, as I said, this bloodthirsty desire for revenge of our enemies. Right? Makes us all uncomfortable, but I've just quoted to you at least 7 or 8 different places in the Nevi'im where they're all asking things. Right? But again, as I mentioned, it's bizarre. There is no expression of the desire of Shivat Zion. There's just this expression of the destruction of our enemy. Now, I'm going to say that I think the idea, based on the Yirmiyah that I quoted to you, I think that the Mizmor is still too early to dream. Even as I talked about the progression, it's still too early in our Galut history to dream of an encouragement of Shivat Zion. I think the Baal Mizmor is not interested in encouraging that. I think Yirmiyahu is very scared of encouraging that. And the idea of coming back to Shivat Zion, anything more than a hope in the distant future, is not here being encouraged. But you would ask me, okay, so we want normalization, we want to live in Galut. Is the best way to do that is to talk about the destruction and the of your host culture and the smashing of their infants' heads against rocks, right? That's not the best way to sort of ingratiate your people into their new host culture. That's not the purpose of this Mizmor. He doesn't seem to have an interest in that. Rather, he seems to have an interest in keeping hope alive. Right? He's not saying Benu Batim. He's not even saying Kashut Shalom Dinah. He's saying, right, you're going to live there. I want you never to forget. I want you to remember. And if you don't forget, if you remember, so will God. And God will remember. By the way, God will take care of that. The revenge, leave that to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Put your guns there. Now, I just don't have a lot of time. So there is this prayer of Midah Keneged Midah, the hope of Nekama. That is a normal expression of Geulah, is the hope of Nekama. Now, let's go. Let's go back. The idea of the Mizmor, I know I'm rushing, but I want to get through a few points. The idea of the Mizmor is past to future, change in tense, right? The past of pain of Galut, immediate pain, moving into a future of hoping for some form of redemption in some form of Geulah. And then what happens? What happens here is that there's only one way to get there, and that's through memory. You cannot forget the past, because then you will have no future. If you live in the past, you will also have no future. So the idea is, the Jewish answer to the dangers of Galut is one, is Zechor, is memory. The idea of memory, collective and personal, is the only way we're going to solve the problems of living and normalizing our lives in Galut. We can't not normalize them. We can't normalize to the point that we totally forget Yerushalayim. Now, what I'm going to do now, in the next few moments that I have left, is I want to now flip to the Perek Yirmiyah. So again, the Mizmor makes sense. The Mizmor has this progression of initial shock, pain, normalization, promise to remember. That's that midpoint. That's the key pivotal point of the Mizmor. And then developing into a hope for a future on some level, as much as we can hope out of here. And that only happens because we remember. If we remember, Midah Keneged Midah, we have the right to ask God to remember. We remember, we make that promise to remember. That's our antidote to the normalizations and the trappings of Galut. Memory, when we remember, we have the right now to tell God Zechor. Okay, now let's go to Yirmiyah Kaftet. Okay, so Yirmiyah Kaftet seems to be a little different approach here. And Hazal does something interesting to this text. Yirmiyah Kaftet, okay? ואלה דברי הספר ששלח ירמיה הנביא מירושלים ליתר זקני העולם והכהנים והנביאים וכל העם שדבר מיוחד לצער מירושלים בבלה. This is a message for the people that are in Galut Yehoiakim. They've been in Galut, the Beit HaMikdash is still standing. Like I said, many people have not unpacked their bags, nor have they unpacked their swords. We see that. You see from Yehezkel, you see from Yirmiyah. Yirmiyah sends them a message, and people are angry at him for this message. And he says, normalize basically, Pasuk Dalet, or Pasuk He, Benu Batim V'shevu, V'nitu Ganot V'klu Et Priyam, Kehu Nashim V'olidu Banim U'Banim. I have 3 things to do. I want you to have houses, I want you to have fruit, places, and I want you to have wives. Sound familiar? Sound familiar? Ami האיש שיש בנה בית ולא הנחה, נטע כלב ולא חללו, אינס אישה ולא לקחה. Right? Normalization of life. And guess what? If you think it's temporary, Pasuk Vav, כהון נשים והולידו בנים ובנות. And then, קראו לבניכם נשים, ותבונתכם תדומת. And then, ותלדנה בנים ובנות. We got a few generations. Your grandchildren will be born in this country. Just relax. Now, if you flip the Pasuk Yud, he says, by the way, now what do you think you're doing? we're going to get stuck here. Don't worry. Pasuk Yud says what? After 70 years, I'm coming back and I'll save you. Okay? 70 years, לפני מאות לבבל 70 שנה, אפקוד אתכם, והקימותי עליכם את דברי הטוב, ואשיב אתכם על המקום הזה. I'll bring you back. Okay, my head scratching. How do I get back? You're telling me, normalize my relationship. And by the way, don't worry, I'll bring you back. Now, I don't do anything? Just be a Babylonian? Yeah. Now, I skipped Pasuk Zayin. Pasuk Zayin somehow really increases this problem. Oh, by the way, in the meantime, we want to be good Babylonian citizens, right? This is a most favorite Pasuk of the, typical liberal Jew, right? We want to be, and I'm not denying it, this is what he's saying. גירשו את שלום העיר אשר הגליתי אתם שמה, התפללו בהגן השם, כי בשלומה יהיה לכם שלום. So, right? Praying for the nation. By the way, we neglect to mention that praying for the nation is what? Praying for the nation is a practical thing. כי בשלומה יהיה לכם שלום. It seems to be, at least from a practical point of view. Okay, it's a little bit problematic. Now we're praying for Babel. It's a little bit two different messages. But what happens now? When we're talking about the Shua Shlom Ha'ir, what's missing? What is the missing ingredient in this? In Yirmiyah's talking? What's not here? Memory. Enter in Midrash Tanhuma. I'm not saying this Pshat, but it's not. I would think it's Midrash Tanhuma the Pshat. Pshat is pray for the welfare of Babel. Pray for the welfare of Babel because that's the only way you're going to survive. Enter Midrash Tanhuma, and I think this is what's following the Midrash, and says, Dirshu et Shlom Ha'ir asher egleti etchem misha. And they connect it to Shalu Shalom Yerushalayim. By the way, you're going to normalize yourselves. But don't forget to pray for Yerushalayim. Why? Vitpalu ba'adar Hashem Yerushalayim ki b'shloma yeh lachem shalom. B'shloma yeh lachem shalom. Now it's the missing ingredient based on the Mizmor. Memory. You're going to normalize. Don't forget again. Then I'll take you outside. So based on this Midrash Tanhuma, it has this perfect fit. Again, I'm not saying it's Pshat. Pshat is also on a double level of living in the, praying for the city you're living in, but on the other hand, the memory of Yerushalayim. Now, I'm going to sort of close with one last thought. With one last thought to see it in Hazal. And then, but I think that Midrash Tanhuma fits it with it's more perfect. One last thought. We have a famous Gemara. What does the Gemara say? The Gemara says, Rabbi Yoshua. There was a Churban. And what happens? The Beit HaMikdash said, and there were Prushim in Yisrael. And what did these Prushim want to do? We can't eat meat. How did you meet? You had Churban. You can't eat wine. You can't eat Suchayayi. Rabbi Yoshua says, okay, if that's the case, don't eat meringue. I said, okay, we'll have fruit. Fruit would be bikurim. No, I'll have the other fruit of not shiva minim. Okay? I'll have other fruit. By the way, what? Nisu kabani. Shatku. The Prushim shatku. The Prushim kept quiet. And what happened as the Prushim kept quiet? Prushim kept quiet. What does Rabbi Yoshua tell them? Banai lo kachadere. שלא להתאבל אי אפשר שכבר נגזר הגזרה. להתאבל יותר מדי אי אפשר שאין גוזים גזר הציבור שאין יכולים לעבוד. What I'm saying is, you can't not normalize yourselves because you're living in the past. You can't fully normalize yourselves because you forget the past. So what do? Says Rabbi Yoshua, I have a few gzerot. Don't, when you make a seudah, limit it. When you make your hatan, don't fully put the jewels. And when you make your house, leave something open. do that. And what pasuk does he bring? What pasuk does he bring? In our pasuk. What Rabbi Yoshua is saying is there's normalization in Galut, that aspect. But there has to be normalization with memory. You cannot, the Prushim didn't want to normalize. They wanted to not live. Couldn't be. But that was the immediate response to Galut. They just lived through it. That's the Ech Nashir. What Rabbi Yoshua is finding is Ech Nashir is going to develop into what? It's going to develop to a vow, to promise, to remember. It's going to say, yes, you'll normalize. But the antidote to forgetting, when you normalize, and there is a danger that normalization makes you forgetting, is memory. The way we deal with our collective pain in Galut is through collective memory. And the personal pain of Galut is personal. Right? There is this famous statement, I don't know if it's true, it probably wasn't, but whoever made it up, if it was, very nice. If it wasn't, whoever made it up was understood. Right? Napoleon walks through, and he happens to enter into a Jewish city in France on Tish'a BeAb, as he's capturing it, and he walks in, and he walks to Tish'a BeAb, and he sees everyone on the floor crying, the night of Tish'a BeAb. And he asks, what's going on here? What are they crying about? The temple was destroyed. Why was the temple destroyed? I can handle it for you. Do whatever I want. I'm going to rule the world. No, it's not 1,800 years ago. And he says, as a nation that stood Christ for 1,800 years, we will surely see be I don't know if that's a true story, if Napoleon said it, there's so many, but whatever it is, it's a message that this is how we look at our tragedies. We look at it through memory. We remember. And that's a collective of Galut. It's been a long time. It's not just because memory less. And memory is like it.